Reality. Reality needs to be based on facts. And you need to synthesize the data to make an educated decision. Sadly, many are making their reality based on their perception of a headline of an article that they really did not even read. Let's face it, it would be malpractice if a doctor diagnosed you and prescribed medicine without doing an examination or reviewing test results. Right now, yes, we are in a crisis. We are not in a housing crisis, but we are in an information crisis about housing. This is episode 174 of the Martini Mortgage Podcast. I'm calling it Reality. But before I get deep into this important episode, I need to make the legal folks happy. So, my name is Kevin Martini. I'm a certified mortgage advisor and producing branch manager at NMLS 143962 with the Martini Mortgage Group at Gold Star Mortgage Financial Group Corporation, NMLS 3446, equal housing lender. The primary purpose of this podcast series is to inform, entertain, and educate. The information, opinions, and recommendations presented in this podcast series does not constitute legal or other professional advice, opinions, or endorsements of any kind. With that said, let's deal. Since I'm a certified mortgage advisor, it would be natural for me to start by talking about mortgage rates. Many have this perception that mortgage rates are high today. However, mortgage rates are still below their historical average. Let me say it again for the people in the back. Today, mortgage rates are still below their historically average. This is not an opinion. This is a fact. Freddie Mac retains data on where mortgage rates have been since April 1971. And according to that data, from the inception of the Freddie Mac's primary mortgage market survey to the end of February 2023, a 30-year fixed rate mortgage rate averaged 7.75%. At the time of recording this episode of the Martini Mortgage Podcast, mortgage rates were below the 51-year plus average. Here is the challenge that many first-time home buyers and many repeat home buyers are having. They're comparing the home loan rates that are present today to the home loan rates that were present during the pandemic. If you take this once-in-a-lifetime event out of the equation, the average 30-year fixed rate mortgage would be 8%. We're not in 2020 and 2021 anymore, folks. And we're not going back to where home loan rates were during 2020 or 2021. So if you're comparing where mortgage rates were then to where they are now, stop it. Looking in the rearview mirror to see where we have been with home loan rates is nice, but irrelevant. What truly matters is what's in front of you and where we are right now and where we are headed. The current mortgage rate environment is creating an unprecedented opportunity for home buyers today that is arguably better than where we were in 2020 or 2021 or even 2022. Give me your grace, lend me your ears, and let me get into the weeds on home loan rates for a hot second. The arch enemy to mortgage rates is inflation, because mortgage rates live in the bond market. Inflation erodes the return of a bond, And a bond has to offer a higher yield during periods of inflation. And when yield is higher, home loan rates are higher. Inflation will get under control. It's not a question of if, it's a question of when. If you're a longtime listener to the Martini Mortgage Podcast, you have heard me say it before. The Fed is always late to the party, and they always stay to the party too long. But when it's all said and done, the Fed will slay inflation. And when they do, home loan rates in Raleigh, North Carolina, and in every city in the U.S. will improve. According to the Mortgage Bankers Association's most recent forecast, at the end of 2024, a 30-year fixed rate mortgage will start with a 4. Armed with this credible intel, it highlights why now, I mean right now, why, if owning a home is right for you, you should take action immediately. Let me dig deeper into why now. I would invite you and encourage you to turn into episode 173 of the Martini Mortgage Podcast, which I really should have called How Home Buyers Can Use the 4 Stages of Home Buyer Demand to Maximum Advantage. However, I just called it 4 Stages of Home Buyer Demand. At the time of this recording, we are in the bright red zone, not the bright green zone of the 4 stages of home buyer demand. If you are a buyer, this is a wicked awesome time to buy a home. In short, bright red means that there are less buyers that need to or want to buy, but are unwilling to buy. And there are more sellers willing to roll up their sleeves to make a deal happen. Let me share a quote from the spring 2023 Ultimate Home Buying and Mortgage Guide published by the Martini Mortgage Group. In the guide on page 10, senior mortgage strategist Logan Martini said, and I quote, "In the current real estate market, when I see a real estate sign in the yard, to me, I'm looking at a motivated seller," end quote. Seller markets are defined by months of supply available in the marketplace. Technically, we are in a seller's market. However, there are moments in a seller's market that provide an unfair advantage to a home buyer. Oh, by the way, that time is right now. When we are in the orange zone or the light green zone, and especially when we're in the bright green zone, sellers are not motivated to participate to help get their home sold. But when they're in the red zone, they are really motivated. While in the bright red zone, sellers are willing to pay for a buy down to temporarily lower the rate for the buyer, and in addition, maybe even offer a price reduction too. To compare and contrast, when we're in the bright green zone, buyers typically have to be willing to offer a free rent back to the seller or waive appraisal contingencies, and most likely they'll even have to pay over list price to secure the home. There is no question that mortgage rates are better during a bright green zone, and mortgage rates are higher in a bright red zone. But remember these nuggets. Any loan originated in 2023 will likely be refinanced in 2024 or 2025. In 2023, a home buyer can have the rate that they expect to see in 2024 or 2025 with a seller-funded temporary buy-down offered by the Martini Mortgage Group. And owning real estate is a long-term investment. And over time, real estate has performed very, very well. Let me say it another way. Homeownership wins over time. Let me ask you this. Do you know anyone who bought a home 5 or 10 or 15, heck, even 30 years ago? You likely do. And they probably have no regrets. I bet the reason they have no regrets is, if we polled them, was because homeowners gain equity and wealth as their home value grows over time. The current home loan rate environment will not be here forever. And stop comparing the current interest rate environment to what happened in 2020 and 2021. Capitalize on the current mortgage rate environment to negotiate a win trifecta. To me, this is, win number one of the trifecta is to get a home today that is forecasted to go up in value. According to what I consider the gold standard of predicting future home values, the Home Price Expectation Survey done by Pulsenomics. Oh, by the way, I call it the gold standard because it's not just one person's opinion. It's not just one entity's predictions. It's a sampling of over 100 qualified people that are market movers, investors, experts. In the most recent survey, the 5-year cumulative appreciation is forecasted to be 23.3%. Win number two of the trifecta is you will likely get the seller to participate in the transaction. And even if they do not, you have locked in a home price where it is today. And since I'm a certified mortgage advisor, I will properly structure your home loan with the lowest cost of borrowing for the current environment. This is crucial. Win number three of the trifecta for families that I serve is I do not disappear, and I am here for the long run, and I manage the mortgage during the tenure to alert you when the rate valley beeps on the radar, and we seize it to lock in your long-term savings. Holy cow, that was a lot, wasn't it? In closing, the reality is that right now is an opportunity. Don't compare the current rate environment to where we were in 2020 and 21. That ain't going to happen again, folks. The reality is the Fed will get inflation under control, and rates will be better when they do. And you don't have to be in the mortgage forever. You can refinance it. If your perception is that you should wait until lower rates, that is fine. But know this, it will cost you more, because when rates are lower, we are in the bright green zone, and that means you will likely be paying a premium versus getting a bargain today. I believe money is made in real estate when you buy, not when you sell. Right now is the time to buy if home ownership is right for you. Remember, if it's right for you, or if you want to explore if home ownership is right for you, let's connect. My name is Kevin Martini. I am a certified mortgage advisor with the Martini Mortgage Group, and I am located in Raleigh, North Carolina. However, I help families all over the U.S. And you can reach me by dialing 919-238-4934. Looking forward to connect. Stay safe out there, and wishing you peace and blessings.